Hickok 45 here with a new innovative striker-fired polymer pistol. I'm serious, it's a striker-fired pistol and it's got a polymer grip. How cool is that? Let's shoot something else, like that 2-liter. Yeah, doggies. How about a bolt? Had a pair of pins. So that was 16 or 17 rounds. Guess we're... this is the Masada. And yeah, I got a Glock out here just for comparison, size-wise and everything. And it's a polymer pistol. I was joking around a little bit. Yeah, a new innovative firearm, striker-fired polymer pistol, 9mm, holds 17 rounds. No one has ever come up with that before, have they? Well, unlike what I see from some folks in comments, I think there's always room for one more. I'm a little weird, but why not? Not that I'm sitting and waiting anxiously for the next polymer wonder to come out, because I like lots of different firearms and am busy enjoying all sorts of them. So I would not be depressed if no one else ever came out with another polymer pistol. What do you call it? A Wonder 9, lots of derogatory names for them, right? But IWI hasn't yet, so why not? Hey, Ford's got a pickup truck, Chevy's got a pickup truck, Dodge has a pickup. Everybody that wants a pickup truck makes one. And so why not IWI? And I think this is their first offering in a pistol like this. And there's a lot of interest. Why would there be interest in this pistol? I'll tell you, probably the two biggest reasons are the price point is around, it's not much over 400 bucks. Okay, so you're talking about 400 and change. I don't know if it's available at $399 or it's $425, whatever, but it's in that ballpark. And it's got all the stuff that most of these have now. You see the plate on top, you can take that off and put an RMR on there. I think, gosh, Data Point, the Trigicon, let's see, the Romeo 1, it's already set up for 3 or 4 of the RMRs. And a lot of people are using those these days. And you can get night sights, the 3-dot night sights if you want. It doesn't come standard with them. And, you know, it's got 3 back straps. You got the replaceable back straps. And it's a 17-round mag, and it comes with 2 magazines. Sometimes low-priced pistols come with just 1 mag. That's one way they keep the price down, but you get 2 magazines with it. One of them is still loaded. I'll load this one while I'm telling you a bit about it. And you got your rail. You got front serrations. It's very ambi. Say your mag release, your slide lock and all that on both sides. How's that for cool, right? Your trigger works with either hand. Ambidextrous trigger, ambidextrous grip, ambidextrous sights, so either eye. So it's an ambi pistol, and I've been shooting it for a few days, off and on, and have not had a malfunction, okay? Not that I'm expecting one, but I like to point that out, because reliability is fairly important, right? With a pistol, especially something that's generally considered a defensive pistol, okay? So it seems to work. It fires. It feels good. They talk a lot about the ergonomics of it in the literature, about how the angle of the grip and everything is perfect, and it's just right. And you got a little bit of a beaver tail action there. You get in there tight, and you got a low bore axis. Well, I don't know that you got lower than Glock. I don't think you do, and maybe some others, but I mean, it's not high. You know, it's not a high bore axis. Either maybe like thinking about some of the SIGs or something comparatively. It's got a pretty good trigger. It's not great, but just for a striker-fired firearm, it's not horrible. It's got a pretty nice reset. It's just, you can see it there. It's not too long. Click. It's longer than I was thinking. Let's see. Click. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's fine reset. You know, it's very distinct. The trigger feels fine. In my shooting, I've not noticed anything odd about it. It feels okay. And I'll try the other mag here. Okay. Now let's shoot it a couple more times. How's that? let's just shoot some. We haven't messed up anything yet, have we? Everything is still intact. Guess what? We can take care of that. One shot. Oh, man. Where am I? Oh, I know what I'm doing. Yeah, I'll talk about that. Yeah, I got to explain something to you about the sights. Okay. Let's do a little bowling here, a little pot smoking. What? Why'd that bowling pin jump off there? Whew. Wow, I'm empty already. I just have the 2 mags that came with it. And they're empty. So yeah, there's something I got to tell you about. One of the negatives of it. But now, before I do that, I want to remind you again, we're so happy to have support from APMEX.com, the American Precious Metals Exchange. You can go to the link in our description or APMEX.com. They have an incredible selection of precious metals, and they have one of the strongest reputations in the industry. You get what you order. You know, John and I have used them before we got support from them, so we're real appreciative of that help. Okay, the negative on this pistol, the biggest negative for me really is it's a nice pistol. I don't have a lot of problem with it. It's fine. Feels pretty good. I might want a bigger back strap on it. I don't know, and I would like it. Some wrap on it. Yeah, now not like my Glock. This is my Glock 17 I dragged out. This was back when I Frankensteined it with I don't know, a couple of layers of Talon grips and some other stuff on it. I was trying to fill in that grip and back there to where the hump. I don't like the hump on Glocks. If you've been around long, you've heard me complain about that over and over and over again. So that's what I did all that, gosh, years ago. And I've got it, actually feels pretty good. It doesn't look great. It's not a good advertisement for Talon grips, maybe because it's Frankensteined up. But anyway, that's, where was I? Yeah, I'd put Talon grips on it. I'd put some grips on it or some, wrap it up. Okay, it needs that, I think. You don't get the friction that you ought to. All right, it's too slippery. And it would feel better. It would feel a lot better just to have that. For me, especially with my large hand, it would feel great. But that's not the negative. A lot of pistols are like that. The negative is it shoots low. Okay, let me show you. Now it's nothing you can't deal with. I was hitting a few targets out there, but I would rather a pistol print high than print low. All right, it's just easier, I think. Much easier. I think most people would agree to give it a 6 o'clock hold on a target, or even hold a little bit low. Once you realize that, it's just not that big a deal. Okay, I think I posted something about this on Instagram, where I posted a picture of it. So let me find something I've not shot here. Okay, that stop sign, I'm going to hold right on where the hanger, the hole is where it's hanging. Okay, I'm gonna get a real good hole, put a couple of rounds in here, and I've got my sights leveled up right on the hanger where the hole is. Okay, let me do another couple. So you see, that's pretty low considering the distance, right? Let me try the coffin down there. I'm gonna hold on the top edge of the coffin. See, so what, 6 inches or so low? Let me try that plate on the left, the swinging plate. Now if I hold right in the middle of it, look what happens. It went low probably, it had to. I'll hold up on the stem. Here, got it. The next one. I was holding up on the stem, the top of the plate, and it barely caught the bottom of it. So it's fairly significant for, I think. See if I can hit those 2 liters though. Okay. So you just allow for it. It's not a Kentucky windage kind of thing. It's a Tennessee elevation. So we have some mountains in Tennessee. We claim rights to elevation problems, the elevation issues. All right, Kentucky, you got your windage, but we've got the elevation, and you just adjust for it. All right, until you get the sights replaced. I think they offer night sights for it. Maybe they're a little different, and maybe the rear sight sits a little bit higher, because you would need a higher rear sight, or what else? Or a lower front sight, right? So one of those two would take care of that. It might not bother you, you know? You might not care. You might like to sight a pistol that way. I've heard people talk about certain guns and see conversations about it, how, well, you're sighting it wrong. You put that dot up on the target. You stick some of that front sight up and lay it up on the target, what you're shooting at, and all that kind of thing. Well, not me. I don't. I sight all handguns about the same way. I want to, at least. Now, if there's a little bit of variation, it's not a big deal. The defensive pistol, I prefer actually kind of a 6 o'clock hold, which means you're holding kind of at the bottom of the face of the clock for you digital people. The 6 is at the bottom of the clock. So 6 o'clock hold to hit kind of in the center up into it. That's for a revolver. I kind of have always liked that sort of hold, actually. But with a lot of pistols, Glock included, modern pistols, they kind of, most of them hit right on wherever you level up the front sight with the rear sight. They tend to hit right where they're leveled up, okay? You know, whatever you're looking at, for the most part, not all of them. And you can change out sights on them and on this, I'm sure. This hadn't been out very long. There will be, or there already are, replacement sights available, I'm sure. So anyway, for what the firearm is for, got my mag pouch here for my one big extra mag. Let me put my, oh, and by the way, it fits in this holster just like my Glock 19 or Glock 17. So the thickness has got to be about the same. There's not much difference in size. All right. So for a defensive pistol, shooting low, it's not that big a deal. I mean, you can put the rounds where you need to put them, okay, within reason. And maybe I can even hit the gong. I'll try. Here. Okay. Yeah, I've got to hold up on the very top edge, or even a little bit above, maybe. Okay, so let me see if I can hit that buffalo. I'll hold right over it. Got him. Got him again. I'll try the pig. There we go. Oh, look at this guy. Let's try him with our left hand. Look. Yeah, you get a good grip on it, pretty good grip over that beaver tail, I have to say. So, what do I think of it? I think you all should rush out and buy them, yeah, because I get a commission. No, you know better than that. I think it's something you'd want to look at. You want to feel for it. They'll show up in at ranges where they rent firearms, and just try it out, because at that price point, where you get everything that, I mean, I don't know what else you'd want on the pistol. You got your plate. It's ready for any kind of sight, and 17 round mags, and it has not malfunctioned. It's not bobbled a bit. And so it's, one thing I've not fired is a hollow point in it, but I'm sure it'll tap. Now, I happen to have a couple. I emptied the mag on my Glock here. I'll put a couple of those in. Just happen to have them out here. I forgot to bring out a box. and we'll put a few in there. So like I say, for that price, it's probably something you want to look at. And if it were $700, I might be a little harder on it. Let's try something like that bowling pin right there. Boom. How about the Cowboy? Surprise, surprise, it feeds hollow points. Most of the modern pistols just define with hollow points. It was really the old, it's one reason, can I take a little aside here? You won't tune out? You probably will, but that's okay. The old 1911s, a lot of them back in the day, they were really bad with hollow points unless you worked on the throat a little bit and kind of tuned them up for hollow points. And it's one way they got that reputation for unreliability among some groups. When we started competing with them and everything, and maybe carrying one and putting big wide mouth hollow points in it, well, John Browning didn't foresee that. They weren't really designed for that. But all these modern pistols, they fire hollow points generally pretty well. So yeah, I would look at it, take a look at it. If $150 or $200 difference between this and some of the others, means much to you. That is definitely worth looking at. And I don't know if I finished my thought earlier on. The price point is one of the attractions of it. And then of course, I didn't finish that thought. You let me kind of get off topic, as you always do. The fact that it's made by IWI. They have a reputation for making quality firearms. I mean, let's see, there's something else they have made. I can't think what it is. Oh yeah, Uzis, Galils, Tavors. They sort of have a reputation for making quality firearms. And so that's another reason, I think, for the buzz around this pistol. So this is their first striker-fired polymer pistol like this. And so, a lot of people, curious about it, including me, and you were, and so I requested one. So my take on it, negatives, it feels a little bigger, a little wider, but it's not that it matters. A big old 17 round pistol you're going to carry in a holster. If it is I didn't put the calipers on it. Might be a tad wider than a Glock, but you can look at the specs. If it is, it's not much, and it is ambi all the way around, ambidextrous. That means, and the trigger's not bad. It's, and again, I expected quality from IWI, and that seems to be what it embodies. It seems to be a quality firearm. I don't know how you get the sights that I say far off. For me, they're far off. To me, a pistol that shoots low is just much worse than one that shoots high. And as I said earlier, it's just hard to deal with. I just hate it. I would have to change out the sights on it. Okay, but good pistol, and it shoots. It doesn't have a cheap feel to it. Okay, for $400, that ballpark, considering the price of a lot of these kinds of pistols today. I wouldn't have been surprised, and I don't want to bash Ruger. I'm not bashing Ruger. Like the Security 9 is an inexpensive pistol like this, but it feels kind of, I'll say inexpensive, not cheap. It just does. But you don't really get that feel with this, especially if it had some better grips on it or some additional grip to wrap around. It feels really, really good, and feels solid. It goes bang every time you pull the trigger. And it's got the big IWI on the top, and for most of us who are familiar with that company, I don't think there's a lot of negative connotations based on the quality of, like, the Tavor. You may not like the Tavor or the Galil or some of the Uzis and those firearms, but they have the old how could I forget, Desert Eagle, right? So they have a reputation, and so it's worthy of taking a look at, right? The Masada. Masada. I knew you wanted to spell it. So what did I not tell you? It kind of the price range and our impressions. It's not like, oh wow, this is the best pistol I've ever shot or anything, but it doesn't feel cheap, and it shoots fine, and the sights print where it prints low. That's really the only significant negative for me. Okay, trigger's okay. It's not a giant positive. reset's okay. You know, and it's got all the stuff you kind of want on one of these pistols. So anyway, the IWI Masada, not a bad try, probably a really good firearm for the money. Okay, and I don't say that in a negative way. Like, yeah, since it's only $400 or a little over, yeah, you want to consider it. If it were $600, yeah, it might be a gun that you would prefer. So anyway, that's my take on it. And it's not the way I look at sights that cause it to shoot low. I've shot a lot of pistols, okay? So, I mean, if I stop people up on the road and say, hey, come down and shoot this pistol, it's going to shoot low for everybody, okay? You know, sometimes John and I will shoot a firearm and we look at the sights just a little bit differently, but no, it does shoot low. All right, so maybe if you sat down when you shot it, that would take care of that problem. I don't know, or wear shoes with thinner soles or something, I don't know. Anyway, glad you came out. About to lose my voice, and we really appreciate you supporting the folks that support us and watching us shoot, okay? Because we enjoy shooting. If you didn't know that, life is good.
Oh yeah, that's better. This is a great gun for defense. Oh hey, didn't see you guys there. While I've got you here, I want to remind you of our friends over at Talon Grips and Ballistol. Talon Grips makes grips, can you believe it, for all different types of firearms. You can get rough texture or more of a rubberized texture. It just sticks right on there. You know, really affordable, really cool option to improve the grip for your handguns or rifles. So please check them out at talongungrips.com. You'll be glad you did. And also Ballistol. Dad has been using Ballistol for many years. It's a cleaner and a lubricant, and it's non-toxic. It works really great, and we're happy to have them on board since it's been a part of our shooting endeavor for a very long time. So go to ballistol.com, talongungrips.com, and also while you're out there, I'm juggling all these things here. Also, while you're on the internet, please do check out our other social media like Hickok45 on Facebook. There's also Hickok45 on Twitter, The Real Hickok45 on Instagram. There's a John_Hickok45 on Instagram where I do some things. There's Hickok45.com. You can find us also on Gunstreamer. So check out all that stuff and then watch more videos.